Macmillan Audio presents The Warrior Heart Practice, written and read by HeatherAsh Amara. To all the warriors of the heart who walked before us, shining the light of their courage and love for the rest of us to follow. Preface. This book emerged from the seeds of need, frustration, and love. One day, as I was having lunch with one of my best friends, he began sharing his story of pain, self-doubt, and fear, which he repeatedly shared with anyone who was willing to listen. The repetitive voices inside his head were harsh, and he couldn't get away from them. The cycle was deeply entrenched, and I found myself moving toward that edge where I would no longer be able to hold space for him. As he told me about the experience he couldn't let go of, I reflected his perspective of it back to him in an effort to show him how skewed his version of the story was. I would listen and say, "Fred, that's actually not a true story because I was there. This is what actually happened." And he'd say, "You're right. That is what happened. Okay." And then he'd get totally solid again. He'd have an aha moment that allowed him to see more clearly, feel better, and leave his story behind, which then enabled him to go about his day. A few days later, he would come to me with the exact same story, spoken with the same amount of angst and self-punishment, as if he had never shared it with anyone before. We've all had stories like this that snag the fabric of our being, where an experience gets caught, but rather than reflect and challenge the story, we keep going back again and again to pick at the loose stitch. Whether the experience happened in childhood or yesterday, our stories can unravel our self-esteem, drain our energy, and keep us struggling in emotional quicksand. As I looked at my friend, I could see the pain in his face, his closure, and his self-hatred. Despite repeated attempts to pull him out from under the drowning heaviness of his story, nothing was working. So I offered up a prayer. Please let me help my friend see and hold the truth. As I opened my heart to his suffering, I felt an entire process of getting to the truth drop into my being, and right then and there, a practice that I call the warrior heart was born. Since that day, I've been teaching, practicing, and sharpening the tools of the warrior heart practice. It is a straightforward and well-tested system that will help you untangle your emotions from your stories and your stories from the truth, then connect the truth with your intent. This systematic exploration toward truth is an inquiry practice using Toltec wisdom as a framework and your emotional body as a starting point. In the warrior heart practice, you will learn how to move through a simple process that transforms confusion into clarity and pain into peace. Feeling, story, truth, intent. These are the 4 chambers of the warrior heart practice, which change the way you operate in the world by helping you to rearrange the pieces of your personal puzzles into an integrated new whole, mentally, emotionally, and physically. I wrote this book because I am passionate about helping humans get free from the inside out. I've watched myself and so many of my friends, peers, and students struggle with self-worth, fear of rejection, self-doubt, shame, and blame. For way too many of us, our precious attention and energy are consumed every day just by trying to manage our judgmental mind and our emotional reactions. We are amazing, creative, powerful creatures, and instead of waking up each day saying, "What beauty and connection will I craft today?" we wake up basically saying, "How can I feel good enough about myself today?" Or, "How can I avoid my own self-judgment and fears?" The vitality that could be going towards solving world problems, bringing people together in wondrous ways, and celebrating the unbelievably great gift of life is instead drained by drama, conflict, and using the power of our words against ourselves. The warrior heart.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?